Hey YouTube family, it's Sunday night. Didn't the weekend go fast? My weekend always goes fast and my work week goes fast. It's kind of interesting, but my weekends go lightning fast. Here it is Sunday night already. So anyway, I hope you had a good weekend. I had a good weekend, but I always do now. So we talked about that the other day. So I'm still grateful for that. I'm in a good stage of life. So love a good chapter. So I want to share a little bit about what I have been thinking of, considering, prayerfully considering regarding what are the upcoming events. And the upcoming events I'm talking about is when the vaccine becomes mandatory, because I'm not going to get the vaccine. And so I've been looking into housing options. And I began by looking at tiny homes, tiny cabins, that sort of thing. And I don't have a lot of money. Now I've shared that I have equity in my house, in my townhouse. And so if I sell and I will have some money, I'm not sure how much. I'm not great at checking on, how much of the principal I've paid off, but I have been in this house for 12 and a half years now. It'll be 13 years at the end of May. So I do have some, and I put about $50,000 down. So I'm going to have some money to relocate when I get to that stage. Not that now I'm kind of getting scrambled here because I was thinking of some of my options. So I'm just going to stop there, hold that thought. I'll say that up ahead a little bit. I'll get into that. So I have been looking at tiny homes and cabins and that sort of thing, off-grid living. I don't know a lot about off-grid living, but I joined that Facebook group, Off-Grid Living for Beginners. And I also have joined some or subscribed to other YouTube channels that, for people that are living off-grid. And so they pretty much rough it in most ways. Now, not everybody that lives off-grid is doing so because they're a believer. They may be living off-grid because they're tired of, working 40, 50 hours a week and having the majority of your money go for bills, that sort of thing. And they just want a simpler life. And it doesn't mean they don't work, but maybe they don't work full time. Maybe they work 25 or 30 hours a week. Or maybe they're retired and they moved off grid. So there's those points, and it would be nice to find an off-grid community of believers. I would want to be around believers. And if, let's say somebody could afford to buy, several acres of land and then actually sell portions of it where we could put a tiny house or some kind of, tiny cabin, and we could all work together to learn how to live off grid. So most of us, some people do camp and some people go up north and, do certain things, or maybe they go hiking somewhere. And to be honest, I haven't done any of it. Everywhere I go, there's electricity and running water and, cooking on the stove, and just that's all I've known my entire life. So everything's very new for me. But I would love to meet some Christians that actually want to buy some land together somewhere and then put, simple cabins or tiny homes or, whatever, just some small living structure. And then we could all, help each other learn how to live off grid. And I think that would be really good. I don't want to go live off grid by myself. And I don't know that my kids. Now, if things start happening and there's invasions, whether it's war or other invasions in the United States, that sort of thing, my kids will come with me once they start seeing it. But again, they're still comfortable. They're young and comfortable. So when I talk to them about this stuff, my daughter's polite and she just kind of nods her head, and my son tells me, I'm nuts. So we know how it goes, right? And I'm sure I probably would have thought so at his age too. So anyway, my kids aren't terribly motivated, but I've told my kids, I don't want to wait till there's tanks coming down the street and, you know, uh, armed soldiers busting through the front door before we make some decisions here. So, and I try not to talk to my kids about it too much because they're young. I want them to have, the normal, young, fun years that you have when you're 20 and 23, soon to be 21 and 24. So I want them to have that. I don't want them to be burdened at their young age. And so, but I do mention things once in a while, which is what, just planting a little seed. And so there's that. Then, as I have been searching and researching on YouTube, I came across channels of where people live out of either a makeshift, like more of like an RV type vehicle, like a van or something like that. That's what I looked at first. And then I'm finding people who live in their car or SUV or van, and there's the regular size vans that like couples with, several kids have, or the big vans. There are some people that actually live in their car. And so I was listening to videos. The ones I've looked at so far, no one has a dog. I have 2 dogs. And so tonight, after I did my whole day, busy day, and I'm parked in front of my computer again, looking things up, and I come across this woman, and I'll post a link in the description. It's Nikki Delventhal. I don't know who she is, but she has been on The Bachelor, and she has been a model and that sort of thing. She's living out of her car with her dog. She has a Prius, of all things, and she says she loves it. So I'll put that link in the description box, and so that you could check that out. Now, I don't know that I could live in a Prius. I mean, if I had to, I could, but I don't have to. So she loves it for the great gas mileage, and she just makes do. So, and she loves to like do what she wants and go hike, bike, go to the ocean, go to the lake, go wherever. And she has a very free day. I'm not sure how old she is, but she looks like she's mid to maybe, 27 years old. I'm not sure. So, I thought her video was interesting. I watched the whole thing. It's 21 minutes long. So I thought, well, okay, that's encouraging. She can live in a Prius. I can certainly live in an SUV, maybe. So that's what I am thinking of. Now, I don't know when the vax is going to become mandatory. Now, they fast-tracked the vax. They're up to something. They have an agenda. There was a reason for this, and it's not public health. Let's just be clear. It's not for the safety and well-being of people and treating COVID. I mean, please. We know that they have an evil agenda behind the scenes, and what they do all supports that. So, yes, do they try to pretend that this isn't so and keep like an image? Yes. Yeah, we get it now. So, I'm thinking I'm going to work and earn money until the vax becomes mandatory. And then I will, make my plans and maybe save some money so I can live. I'm check to check. Most people are check to check. And so it wouldn't take me long to spend up probably between $2,000 and $4,000 if I have no income, just paying bills and paying my mortgage and everything else. So I have to be prepared. I do have some money saved right now. I'm actually saving for a car, but not a car to live in. I thought I was saving for a car because I'm driving my daughter's old car. She bought a new car when she got her job, so I'm driving her old car right now. And so I was just saving for a newer car when her car, which is a 2000 with 230,000, 2000 Honda with 230,000 on it, mileage. So I'm figuring, well, I want to be ready for when her car croaks. So now I've got this whole plan, or thing that I'm like looking forward to. And I prayerfully want to consider these options. Now, there are two very different options. One is stationary and one is mobile. So I got to tell you, I'm leaning towards mobile already. And I'm thinking, now eventually I'm going to want to be, like I was saying, on some land with some other people with small cabins. And probably we're going to get cut off from all utilities, food, gas, everything. So I can't live out of a car when they cut us off gas because we don't have the mark of the beast or we don't have proof of the vaccine. So I would like to actually do the mobile one first and maybe live out of a van and then do that for a couple years. I already can't leave the US because I don't have the vax. So my travel would be around the US. I would love that. I would love to do that for like a half a year or a year. And I'd have to save up some money so I could do that. And so I'm thinking about that. So, and then after that, I could take some of my money that would be saved and actually put it towards like a small cabin or, maybe rent a room if I meet some other Christians that are planning to live off grid and we share a place. And so I'm looking into that too. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I've not talked to my kids about this yet. This part's new. But that's what I'm thinking of. So I'm watching videos. I'll link these videos. I'll put this Nikki Delventhal. I'm not trying to say her name, but it's Delventhal. And there's another woman that's about 1 or 2 years older than me. I think she's 62. And she has been living in her car, like SUV, for 18 months or so. And I will share her link as well. And where I actually wish I was about, 20 years younger doing this and having the adventures, and I'm still young at heart and I'm still very active. So I'm an active 60-year-old. I mean, I bike and walk and, hike around and just do all kinds of stuff. And I want to do that. We never know whether we're 30 or 60 when something significant is going to change health-wise. And we may not be able to do some of those fun things. So I want to do that. So goal number 1 is to work until I can't. And if for some reason the vax doesn't become mandatory and we just kind of live in the way that we're currently living for years, which doesn't seem like that would be the case, but if it is, I may end up just quitting and then choosing to travel in my vehicle. So I don't want to work indefinitely. I don't want to waste the last of my youngish years. So if I'm 60 years old, and I am, and I'm going to be 70 in 10 years, do I want to be living in a car in 10 years? Probably not. So I want to do this stuff now, or when I'm 62 or 63, or something like that. So that's kind of my plan, tentative plan, and then hopefully meet up with some Christians. So that I just want to share this with you. I think we all need to be thinking about what we're going to do once, first of all, what we just want to do with our time and our life. And I'm kind of getting the bug where, and again, I do like my job. I do. But I've been doing it for 14 years. I'm on my 15th year. My 14-year mark was in November, so I'm into my 15th year in my job. And so I feel like I've had a pretty good run. So if I work like another year or so, maybe, and then make the switch, try to save some money and make the switch, I'm pretty ready, So I think that sounds really good. So I think we all need to be thinking about what we want to do with our time and our life And then we also have to be thinking about when they actually start cutting us off of everything, and what we can have in place so that we can, like live and make life will be very simple. I mean, we won't be able to, well, I'm not working and, we're going to be stuck. I mean, we're not going to be able to get gas. We're not going to be able to do anything. So pretty much life is going to be very, very simple and probably pretty rough by that stage. Of course, God will be with us, but there's rough times, and that's going to be one of the rough times. So, and you know what else? I was just thinking of is I have said that I was going to do the rapture study, or not rapture, but end times and rapture study. I still haven't done it, and now my CEUs are due for my job. We have to do 40 CEUs, and they're due at the end of April. So I'm working on that and checking out my videos and doing all my stuff. So I still haven't, pre-trib, mid-trib, later than that. I'm kind of leaning towards mid-trib, but we'll see. So I still got to do that. But share your thoughts, please, in the not in the description, in the comments below, and let me know what you're thinking about. If maybe you're in my age group and you're thinking, I don't want to work till I'm 65. Or, maybe something's changing for you there. I want to do a little bit of traveling and living, before all this stuff happens and we're in lockdown. So anyway, share your thoughts, what you're thinking. And then as far as when we actually do get cut off of, everything, food, utilities, gas, everything. I'm not sure what it's going to be like. We might be in a tent. I don't know. So anyway, fam, enjoying every normal day we have right now, and enjoying every blessing that God has sent into our lives. We serve a mighty and good God, and we have an absolutely wonderful future. So you have to remember that God is always with us no matter what. He is with us. God is our only circumstance. Now, we have other circumstances when we're in sin, because sin is an open door for the enemy. So then we have other circumstances in our life. But if we're living a holy life and repenting of sin when we do make a mistake or sin or whatever, we are covered, and God is our only circumstance. He is with us. So we are blessed in that way. We have a covering over us. We are under his wing. Oh, speaking of, hang on one second. Glenda Lomax shared about the Psalm 91 book that she said that she was just so blessed by. Well, guess what? I ordered mine on Amazon before Christmas, and guess what? It got lost, no surprise, in December. And so I finally got this like a week ago, and I ordered it quite a while back. And so this is actually Psalm 91 by Peggy Joyce Ruth and Angelia Ruth Shum. There you go. Psalm 91. There's stories of protection, and just, examples of stories in here. And so what I do is, like, when I lay down, I like to read when I lay down at night. A lot of times I read the word, and then I like to read like 1 or 2 or 3 stories out of this of protection. We're heading into this, guys. We're heading into where we need to, we're going to be living in different times. God protects us all the time, but we live pretty normal, comfortable lives. And we're going to be finding out that, we're going to be able to see the hand of God in amazing ways up ahead. So, yep, got my Psalm 91 book, God's Shield of Protection, real life stories of God's shield of protection. Amen. I'm loving that. So just want to share that with you. And I'll put some links in the description box on some of the stuff I've been looking at. You can look at that. Tell me your thoughts, what you're thinking, what might be stirring up for you. So anyway, I feel blessed. God's good. I appreciate the family of God. Have a wonderful week, fam, and I will see you soon.